Alright. Good. Good morning, afternoon. Wherever you are. I guess we're all in different time zones, so it doesn't matter. Hope everyone's having a good day. Alright. So, I'm in the middle of working on this area. I've done a little bit more work since the last time I streamed. Let's see, there's more buildings and more windows and stuff like that. But I'm pretty much in this area. And I started building the staircase I mentioned. I think this area will end up having stairs as well. But they'll probably... These are steeper stairs. These ones will probably be wider spaced ones. If I put them in. We'll see. But... yeah, so I'm just kind of continuing to develop this area. So I just built this ramp. And I think what I'm going to do today is work on this, and this. I did the inside, or the interior, started the interior of some of these. This one I think I'm going to put another small race apartment or two. Probably two. One on each side. So yeah, let's do that. And then this needs an interior, so this is just a exterior that doesn't even reach the ground currently. So okay. If I'm making this a small race dwelling, this would need to be that high. Less. I'm debating in my head whether I want them, if I want to have a step up or not. Oops, and I totally forgot to silence my phone. Okay, so I've got probably all the edges I actually need. This one over here. Two, 3, 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Wow, that was getting good with my eyeball guessing lately. I can't imagine that trend is going to continue to hold. Look at that. Perfect scale. It's almost like I counted it out beforehand. Which, spoiler, I didn't. So, that was just luck. Hey, MMOPug. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Okay. This ceiling's high. Do it here too, yeah. Okay, I spoke too early. But I can bring it down a pinch and it'll be fine. Everything's just ducky. Good to hear. I went too far on that one. Yup. Well, I'm glad I found a little bit of use for this space. Because what I was originally going to do for it spatially just wasn't working. Just didn't have enough room to get there, so this at least works better. So that room is going to be two. Whoa. Well, that wasn't good. Missed some face while I was extruding that. There we go. So yeah, this room would be really tight L shape, so let's see how much I can work with this. Maybe this is going to move over here. Tight and hard to see. Hey Zukin, how's it going? I'll do it off this one. Yeah, I'll do it this way. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do like a wider hallway to a room, or if I just wanted to go straight to the room. I think I'm just gonna try going straight to the room. The reason being, I feel like if I made it have a hallway, the room itself would feel like super small, even to a gnome or a hobbit. Halfling. Oh, now the Tolkien estate's gonna be coming after me. Hey Chaz, how's it going? And then this actually can be a deeper room than the previous one. I'm doing pretty well. Cannot complain. Glad to hear you're doing good as well. Cool. So this is just a smaller apartment with one larger room. And then this has 2 rooms. We'll do windows in a bit. Let's work on this next. We're running up here. I think I'll just have the entrance right here. I think that makes the most sense than having someone have to walk over here to walk in. Hmm. Ah, there we go. Goodbye. Sometimes I swear, Pro Builder. Yep, this is going to be annoying. There we go. Yeah, that's not too bad. I had this snap pretty close to the edge, but then I decided to do the extrusion here, which hides if it wasn't lined up perfectly. Because I didn't build this off of this piece. I could have, but I didn't. Some of these interior pieces now need to be deleted. Whoop. Let's hope normal slide is going to be my friend. It's probably not. Yeah, right there is going to be a problem. Or actually, no, it's not going to be that big of a problem because I can just... Yeah, just do that. Sweet. Crisis averted. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now let's make it interior. Ooh, hold on a second. Hitting the wrong button. There we go. And we will... Yep. I did not guess right on that one, but it's to be expected. Don't know how I feel about that, but we'll leave it for now. Ishiratari, how's it going? Thank you for 8 months. Appreciate it. I will try to not make this the yawning stream, but I don't know why I've been yawning all morning. Okay, I need some stairs here. Let's see, 1, 4, 2, and some 4 steps. Actually, it's probably going to be 3. Like, why did that just snap off? Because I'm not on the right mode. And before I forget, oops, drop that in Sagesyde. Okay. I almost feel like this needs a walkway onto this, but maybe you just jump on it. But if I wanted to put so I'm debating putting a little structure right here. So maybe what we'll do is, 1, get rid of this non-gown that's chilling right here. And for anybody who's not familiar with the word non-gown, I'm sure I've said it a million times, and I don't know if I've ever explained it. It's just a polygon face with more than 4 sides. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Select material. There we go. And those are bad. is basically the rule. You don't want them. Shoot. I was going to move that one, but we're just going to run another edge down here to do what I want to do, because I would cross over that window, which would cause all kinds of not good things to happen to that window. one of these edges is off. Like, I could see that there was some angle off, but my brain was not processing what it was. There we go. Snapped, they have walnut wood stain in M&M. Currently, this is our light wood, but does kind of look like walnut. I'm sure we'll be playing around and actually setting these up a little bit better at some point. But again, the environment textures haven't been really a priority at the moment. It's been more about getting a playable space right now. But I just threw some wood down to make it look like wood. What do I want to do up here? Some small structure right there. Something. We'll play around with it a little. Hey John, how's it going? Let's see, I'm gonna snag one of Simon's. Do I like that one? It's kind of the same thing. I think I'm going to do something similar to that. I'm gonna make one myself real quick. Because it's attached to everything else, and I think it's just gonna be easier to do it this way than detach everything. Hey, Cinder. How's it going? Oh, God. Doing okay? How about you? I'm doing pretty well. I cannot complain. Glad you are doing well also. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna get the hiccups early. That's what I get for eating lunch before stream. Hold on, did that go to the top? Or fly now? I'm like jumping back and forth and I'm forgetting to... Okay, that was tapered in like I thought. Those are each 3 blocks, so 0.7 meters apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. Oops. Okay, so mine will be slightly different dimensions, but that is okay. Nordan with 8 months. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey, Pips in chat. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing well today. Hope you are as well. So we got 1, 2. 3. You hit the right hotkey. Oh my gosh, helps if you can click on stuff too. But I think at this point we all know that I am not very good at that. Because I'm always misclicking on my geo. That's my center line. Oh, that was my chatbot. saw something tick by in my peripheral, but okay. And is YouTube already? Yeah, it's already yelling at me. Oops. Sorry, I just realized I'm like not talking. I'm like zoning into the work. It's one of those days. So yeah. Hold on. What side? What did I do on this side? That needs to go down. Like so. Windows. Start the interior. Oops. I'll fix the actual like width of these in a minute, but I just wanted to have these at an angle so I can actually use them to bridge. Like so. So this needs to be there. And that one I actually eyeballed correctly. What do you know? Hey Stoic, how's it going? Same thing on this side. And then we'll actually work on the space below. Chilling. Took my lunch break to mess with Albion online. I have not actually messed with Albion at all yet. I was tempted to, but I have not. Lately I've been messing around on live in EQ. Got my Ranger up to 112 now. But home server or TLP? Home server, the original. Actually the other day was his 20th birthday. So actually I was wrong. I started during Pop and just before Yakisha, not at the end of Lukeland and just before Yakisha, or just before Pop. I was off on an expansion. I just probably didn't realize that Pop was out when I got it. But yeah, I logged in the other day and it's like literally every time I zone it was like, happy birthday, Hades is 20 years old today, which equals like, I think it was like 450 Norathian years or something like that. And then they have your character's name tag cycle through like all the RGB colors. I was like, when did they start doing that? That is new for sure. My oldest Ranger is 23 now. Nice. Or 23 in April. It's crazy how much time flies by. I almost feel like this should be a little bit larger. The question is it look cooler with that offset to the left or to the right? right. Which means I need to move this. Okay. Okay. So now let's ourselves an interior. And we'll link it up with that. That we just made. It's not gonna work. Let's do this. Sometimes, do I have a weird face or something? What's going on? Bridget, God, what is wrong with you? Feeling I've got like a stacked, yeah, I've got a stacked face that was just not deleting. There we go. Okay. Oh shoot, you know what? The roof down? Too far. This should actually be like right there. Oh, and that isn't aligned. Are the other ones good? That's good, and that's good. But this is probably... Oh, nope, that's fine. Cool. I just brought down the ceiling portion too far. The weird face. Oh, the only weird face is a gnome face, right? Right, John? I got excited the other day when I was running around in EQ. Because I learned, one, I got back in my old guild from like back in the day, but which I was kind of surprised there were still some of them playing, but what was it? The guild hall that they have has a punting gnome. And I thought that was hilarious. But I always have a macro for punting gnomes specifically. Well, I guess I punt halflings too. Like as I run around and do stuff in EQ, I feel like I'm so like I have no idea what's going on half the time. I'm like, there's so much that's changed, but it also gives me a bunch of stuff to like do and explore and stuff like that. So. I don't know why I was doing that other ones as the thinner rank, or not rank, but like the thinner wall, because I definitely want these to be half a meter. So let's go and fix all of that I just broke. Bridge all these gaps. Good morning, Salicious. How are you doing? I don't do too much fancy stuff with this building, but I may give it a kind of trim. An extruded trim. Oops. I really wish it was consistent on which one loop and ring equated to. There we go. Curious, you guys still growing the team or happy with your headcount at the moment? We did recently add a 15th member. But we aren't, I don't think, actively looking at the moment. But we've talked about potentially adding another in the future. But I don't know if that's been really talked about, so I will not say much more than that. But in the future, I think we are looking to add at least one more, but a very, very specific skill set, if that is the case. Sorry, I'm flying around a lot. For anybody who's newer to my streams, I like to kind of like fly around and check out all the different different angles to see how everything's looking. One thing, it's kind of, I need to do it, but I haven't done it yet. I think I may need to like slide this over to have it centered down the street as opposed to like off to the side. I don't know if it's my like OCD. Not that I have I don't think I actually have OCD, but anyways, it's like it just being slightly off. I'm like, oh, the symmetry's off. And it looks good all right there, but here it just feels off. But all of the portals would break. Every single portal in the tower and stuff would break, and all of that. So that's what's kept me from shifting it over. I'll probably end up doing it at some point, but for now it'll stay there, but I feel like it just being shifted over slightly. To that, but keeping it centered more would probably be better. But for now, it will stay where it is. And then this eventually needs to build up into this tower, because these are guard towers. So this will eventually become a tower. Same with that. Although I'm not sure the lower portion of this will actually be tower related. I mean, obviously there's going to need to be an entrance into the tower, but okay, let's. So we got that. Get that. Get all the interiors in here. And there. Need to figure out the interior for this, but I think I can start building in some windows and stuff on this stuff. Well, let's run around and see how everything's feeling. city's starting to come together. Yeah, it really is. There's still a ton of work that needs to be done in it, but it really feels like it's starting to come together, which is great. There's like a light at the end of the tunnel. And then some of the areas that have been like super roughed in need more detail, and we still need to do the bends and High Point Terrace. I completely almost forgot the name of that district off the top of my head. But so those are the two major districts that haven't been touched at all. The Necropolis needs a lot of love, just in terms of like adding in more tomb facades and stuff like that, and taking the ones that are there and like actually making them traversable. Because right now a lot of them are just stuck in the front of, like stuck into the wall. You can't get inside of them unless you're like wall hacking. So I've been doing a lot of whatchamacallit? Speech. Okay. Awesome. Hold on a second. That's funny. Okay. I've been doing a lot of smaller race stuff over here, so that's why I'm hopping on the gnome. Oh, there's people walking around. Is there more stuff going on? I haven't actually been over in these buildings in a little bit, but I haven't seen that guy running around before. So figured might as well use a smaller character to test. Oh shoot, Housefly. Helps if you spell ability correct. Okay. This room's really large. It doesn't. I wanted this to have a higher. I might bring the ceiling down to tighten that up a little bit. Ooh, that has a nasty light bleed. Let's check where that's coming from. You guys saw me model this one not last week if you watched. Can I exit out the window? Nope, not without shrink. Ooh, hold on a second. Why am I hitting a collision? Weird. Let's take a look at the scene. I don't see anything there. Does Unity let me see collisions like Unreal does in the scene? I don't know what he's getting stuck on. Hey, Pazzy. What am I working on today? I am working in this... Whoops. In this area over here. Although I was running around inside this building I made last week. And... Hold on, what is... Uh-oh. Hold on, what is going on with this guy? Oh, that's probably my UI stuff. Yeah, it's a text thing. I was like, what is that what I'm running into issues with? Anyways, there's like a weird collision bug or something going on right there. I'm trying to figure out what that might be. Because I don't see anything that is overlapping that. Unfortunately, if there is a way to see it, I don't know how to toggle it on. Because in Unreal, you can just be like, oh, turn on all colliders, and every collision volume will just show up. There's a lot in the wireframe, too. I still don't see anything else overlapping it. Oops, that was not what I wanted. I may have to test that. So it works that way. Oh, it worked that way going back. Oh, but I also turned off collision. Let's turn it back on. Yeah, it just doesn't like that. Going this way. It's almost like I'm running through a normal, like a face. Because you can, and I've done that, yeah, I've done that in a couple spots in the game. I was trying to think if they were still in the game. They are. Where I'll have like a one-way wall where you'll walk through what doesn't look like a wall, but when you turn around, there's a wall there. And you can't go back the other direction. But I am not sure what is causing that. It might be the angle. The angle right there does get steep, but... No. Let's see. Probably Invisible Gnome messing with me. Invisible Gnome like a gremlin. Just messing with me. Probably. It's probably my own... I mean, it's probably this gnome. He's just messing with me because he's a gnome. That's what I get for talking smack on gnomes and punting them. Oops. I should probably turn collision back on when I'm running up these stairs. I got another little tiny... Oh, there's another funky light scene. This is what I get for not building things completely as a shell. what it is Pro Builder isn't always the great at snapping the same point to the same point, even though it's you tell it to. So that's what's going on right there. I think I built this one. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these seams. But I built this larger little person house. The other day. There's the window I was just looking out. Let's go. Check out these ones. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I'm really going to have to figure out... I have an idea of how to try to fix the lights. So let's do that real quick. Because it's going to drive me crazy running around and seeing those all over the place. I'm loving how dense this area is. Doorways and steps right next to each other. Feels a lot more natural than most MMOs, cities I've seen. Very rigid doorways on the main streets. Yep. That was kind of one of the things we actively were... Whoops, I just literally opened up the scene I was just in. One of the things we had talked about as a team... and I forgot to put this in Sagesyde, was kind of having it feel more like an actual lived-in city with a lot of verticality. Granted, I can't do verticality in every location. But this was one of the areas that I had been waiting to really kind of play around with that. So lots of, twists and turns and, stuff like this where it feels like this might have been built later. This kind of too, kind of getting some layers of structures on top of each other. Same thing over here. More layering. And then I think this elk... Whoops, there is a nasty seam right there. Anyways, this alcove will kind of get pushed back, and there'll be a little bit more kind of winding stuff kind of continued throughout here. And then I think I want to do from High Point Terrace up here, I think I want to have a couple buildings that are kind of like built that start in here and then have little like exterior parts that overhang and look down on here. Just again to add, one, I think it could get some cool views looking down potentially, but also, even though it's not something like it's technically in this area or accessible by this area, it keeps that feeling of verticality, like there's more stuff going on above you, and that you could progress upwards. Granted, you're progressing up and around and into technically another district to get there, but yeah, that's kind of the hope for this particular area, which has been a lot of fun to develop. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the more enjoyable sections to work on of the city. Are there plans to do like more classic high fantasy cities for elves and humans? Yes, but not for the proof of concept. Night Harbor is the only city in the proof of concept. The other cities won't be as large as Night Harbor. There are a couple that potentially could be, but on average, Night Harbor is one of the larger, if not the largest city planned for the main continent. So, but for the proof of concept, you know, we have a little over a dozen zones currently set up. The Night Harbor itself, as the content keeps being put in, and as we add more and more stuff to the city, may end up being multiple zones, similar to Freeport, just on a much larger scale. So as you know, as we build the city out, it keeps getting larger and larger and larger. But you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in here already, and as more and more content gets in, if we start getting performance issues, just because there's just so much data being fed into the zone, it's very possible that, like, you know, the garrison here becomes its own zone, and like this area becomes its own zone, or maybe, you know, this area becomes its own zone. We have areas that, like, we could easily enough duplicate the zone, and then just set up another zone in the database. So we'll see as we keep moving forward, if we kind of run into that, okay, we've hit the limit the tech can support, let's chop the zone into 2 or chop the zone into 4, or whatever number we decide to. Honestly, as I've been building it out, I almost think of each individual region as its own zone. They all have their own unique feel to them, in terms of the districts, which is nice because it feels like when you're in an area, once you kind of get used to, okay, this is how this district feels, you kind of can use that as a, oh, I'm in, you know, the market. Oh, I'm in the garrison. Oh, I'm in the docks. I'm in Sageside. But they still architecturally feel, you know, they feel like they're coming from the same design sense to a degree. There are some areas that look slightly different than other areas, but they're all still close enough where they feel like they're from the same location. And then once we get, you know, colors and stuff like that, and actual textures and stuff like that, we can play around with that more as well, to kind of give some areas maybe have more pops of color, or more one color or the other, to kind of help you, again, ground you where you are. But each of these little spots is almost kind of handled as its own zone. So, you know, this is kind of a large exterior fort, but then there's kind of more of a interior, kind of dungeon crawl. Not dungeon crawl, but like a smaller dungeon type layout inside the fort. And then up top here, we'll eventually have more stuff going on. Then you've got, you know, kind of the winding street area with a bunch of, like, back alley, a little bit of verticality, because we were wanting to get some verticality in there, but again, I was saving a lot of the verticality for back where I'm building currently. But there's a lot of kind of just back roads, twists and turns, you know, places you can run into some shady characters that might try to mug you. Same thing with the bazaar, market area. You know, the side kind of feels more bazaar-esque. You know, more open, and then there's a bunch of, you know, streets and stuff that you can get into the more smaller housing. Again, with kind of back alleys and things like that, as you move around. Hey, Justin. Looks rad. Awesome. Glad you're in, you're liking what you're seeing. Let's see. If Night Harbor has to split up, then it has to be, or hold on a second. If Night Harbor has to be split, then it has to be, but I really hope it starts as one giant city. with no loading in it, being able to see all at one time connected really makes it feel like a large city and not like a video game zones. Let's see. Oh, Essinger, just gifted a sub to Justin Beard. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure Justin does as well. And that totals 3 gifted subs. Awesome. Yeah, you guys always appreciate the subs and the gifted subs and stuff like that. But they're actually eventually supposed, unless we changed it and I haven't heard about it, there's supposed to be a market area inside this temple. And then this temple is supposed to have all sorts of other stuff, and we'll probably hook up to the necropolis in some way at some point, unless there's some lore that I'm not aware of that that wouldn't make sense. But so there's this is like the day market, and then this would be the night market, is kind of the lore behind it. And then yeah, we got, you know, the docks over here. So it's a lot more kind of larger open air structures and larger like storage areas. So there's like these cooling caves, you know, larger like warehouse spots. Again, a lot more open air, kind of catch the breeze coming off. The sea, I almost said the lake, but that's definitely not a lake. I default to lake because I live right on Lake Erie, so a big body of water to me is like lake. But then you got over here, so it's more like the docks or the shipyard. So there's kind of some naval docks, naval ship works, and then over here there's gonna be more ship works, and then you're gonna get kind of into the fisherman's wharf area, so kind of more shanty towns along the river, and then the bends up here, which is gonna be like the super sketchy part of town, which is basically an outdoor which will eventually be an outdoor dungeon once it's completed. So, and then you've got the necropolis. I said more of these will be laid out. I think we're going to lean into this being an encounter space too, so this whole area will get expanded upon. Probably more, you know, crypts and tunnels and stuff to kind of explore and get lost in. You know, there's very large areas right now that are just like mountain crags. Probably more tomb facades in the walls, elevation, you know, like half elevation, like maybe there's a tomb up here that you kind of walk up a hill to get to, that type of thing. So yeah, right now it's just kind of getting the initial feeling and the initial layout so that we have something and kind of further developing it. And then this is going to be more of like the market area over here in the necropolis, and then out into the newbie yard, which needs to get some TLC at some point. But again, if anybody hasn't been watching my streams in the last couple weeks, my goal is to kind of finish target 1 is to finish this portion of Sagesyde, so that basically this gets filled out, and then I'll probably start this area, and then I may go back over here and start finishing out these buildings that are kind of roughed in, and kind of just fully developing them, because the shapes and the layout feel all right, but they just need to be finished, essentially. And then Simon's next task. So he closed off. We decided to close off the alcoves that we had here. So those are closed for now, possibly for good. we're probably losing like maybe 20 or 30 buildings, but we already have so many buildings. Those were originally put in there with the idea of just like needing more space. I may even close off the ones that are up here, because we already have so much space in terms of buildings. Those were originally thrown in when with the initial rough out was going on, and I was like, oh, we might need more space for more buildings because we want to do like open world player housing. Granted, there's still going to be a limit of housing, but if we feel like we need to, we can always push these alcoves back in. Again, these ones may get closed, they may not. But we were talking and we wanted to close that up to just kind of make the transition from the docks area, maybe do like a little fort kind of right up against this this kind of naval workyard, before you get into the bends, so like the sketchier side of town. So yeah, to get into the bends, the entrances would be here, and then potentially one through here. So there'd be like a tunnel going into here, and then would need to develop this space, figure out what it is, and then it would have some sort of guard post that kind of drops down in, and then this is the higher area of the bends, and then technically you could drop down into it, but that wouldn't be like an actual entrance. Can I suggest a rave warehouse? Just throw a bunch of lighting effects in there, and have Robert do a very bassy music track when you walk into it. Let's see. Do you guys plan to work on this thing full time at some point, or do you think it's going to be a passing project for the duration? So the goal is to eventually get to that point where we are able to do this full time. We want to get the proof of concept more complete before we like dive into the monetary stuff behind that. And we've talked about and are exploring, various ways of going about that. But I, during the summer, tend to work closer to full-time on it, because I'm off for the summer. So I put in a lot more hours during the summer. Actually, I sometimes will put in full-time hours already. The last couple weeks I haven't been able to, but I've been, like I said, I've been goofing off in EverQuest a little bit, so some of the time has gone to that, but but yeah, I mean, luckily I have like a 2-hour lunch and stuff at work, so I already have some time to throw at it every day. All right, let's work on windows and such. I'm not kidding. I know how I saw this, but I can never find if there was some kind of Toy Story rave thing. It was a video years ago. Toy Story characters at a wave. That's fun. I don't know if I've seen that one. Oh, hey, Robert. How's it going? We were actually just mentioning you. I don't know if you're here. We were joking about having a rave in one of the sections, and I said that you'd have to write some kind of bassy rave song for it. Um, 2-hour lunch. Sheesh. Yeah, the way classes work at the school I teach at are weird. Oh, speaking of which, it's YouTube to stop playing your music. But yeah, the one school I teach at, all the courses I teach are studio courses, so they're like 5-hour blocks. And then they get a 2-hour lunch that they take their liberal arts courses during. Because I think their liberal arts courses are like an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes or something like that. I don't remember. A 2-hour lunch is great to get stuff done with, but it is a long, long lunch. Especially if you don't have anything to work on. You're just like, oh my god, this is so long. Rave party in Night Harbor. People giving wild opium and copper poison. Let's do it. Rave armor plus 25 charisma minus 17 wisdom, haste 70 or 42%. To get Nick on the itemization of that. Right, what other type of windows have I been using out here? Okay, let's make some. Oops, I just closed those off. Let's undo that, and we will make this a more pointed window. I don't know what is with me. I keep hitting Alt F today instead of Alt B. Or no, Alt V, sorry. Not Alt B. F. When I'm trying to bridge stuff. There we go. Let's see. Lunch and power nap. Back when we used to have bean bags in the faculty office, there was definitely some power napping going on during lunch. But alas, the bean bags are no more. Although it's also not too sad because those beanbags were pretty old and they were getting pretty gnarly. Oop, that was not what I wanted to hit. There we go. There we go. Wait, is that haste or movement speed? I feel like it could be both. Not sure yet about movement speed effects on range armor. Maybe 52% increase for 30 minutes. Minus 72. It snares you after a 72-minute period. Or no, it snares you after 30 minutes. I feel like it should be an over haste as well, not just a normal haste. It's over haste and then a really gnarly snare. Over haste. Exactly what I was afraid that was going to do. Damn it. That works. Let's fix that face because the UVs are a mess. Hold on. Saying there, I thought I merged it with something. Apparently, I just pulled it through the floor without realizing it. So that, and then move this edge up. one large room, so I don't want to do windows everywhere. Not going to do a window at the back here, but I am going to do it out of the little gnomish area right there. Like a window maybe right here, a window out the back, and then maybe 2 out the front. It still might be excessive, but we'll see. The first EverQuest game had the best drinking simulator ever. Good old drunken gnome racing. Third time's the charm. There we go. I made that way more difficult than it needed to be. Colby or Boudon or Bates. Okay. It's like, am I going to have enough room to open that up? But I do, which is good. Shoot. My gosh, I am clicking on every edge loop, but the one I want to click on. Hello, Thavdak. Hello, fellow ranger. Welcome to the chat. I wish more game companies would stream all their production live. It's actually, I enjoy it. Once in a while, like, if it's been a long day, it can be taxing. But other than that, it's actually a pretty nice way of doing things, honestly. Being able to get some feedback and kind of talk about the game a bit, and kind of actually engage more with the community. So I definitely recommend it. But I also get why some companies don't do it, because they're you know, larger companies that are more worried about that first impression. So it doesn't work for everybody, but it really works for us, I think. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a nice way to, like I said, kind of get feedback and kind of learn what ideas are working or what exactly, you know, our community is looking for in the product. Obviously, you know, every idea we hear isn't going to necessarily be used, but it is good to kind of get that feedback on everything. And there is something super off with that vertex. Oh, I know what it is. That's stretching. There we go. Let's do narrower windows. Don't like how wide those are. So you also are a fan of the Ranger class? Sukin likes all your ideas. Yeah, I usually lean towards something. Yeah, same here. I think out of all the game, granted they weren't Rangers, and I think they actually have Rangers now, but the only game that I did not actually stick with the Ranger-esque class, at least the Ranger-esque class at launch, was Lord of the Rings Online. Because I initially started playing a hunter, and then my ex-wife and my brother started playing, so I was like, oh, I'll just re-roll a low-level tune, help you guys get caught up, because I was only like, I don't know, maybe level 10 at the time. So I wasn't that far ahead. And then I'll hop back to the Ranger, but then my brother was playing a champion, which is essentially like an AE melee class and off tank. And then my ex-wife was playing a minstrel, which was essentially a cleric. and I was playing a captain, which is essentially kind of like a hybrid of a paladin and a shaman, I guess. Or at least in EverQuest terms. In some other games, I guess it's just more of a paladin, but I guess yeah, paladin, shaman, a little bit of flavor of both of them, I guess. But yeah, that was the only time I did not stick with ranger. Or ranger-inspired class, I guess, we'll call it that. And I meant to do this earlier, and I completely forgot, and I'm just remembering now, so let's do this real quick. So, I'm going to... Oh, come on. Highlight all these. Oh, no! I can't do it from there. Okay, so I'll highlight all of this. It's not on an angle. And we'll snap it. And hopefully now, I'm gonna fly around, make sure I didn't break anything. Because I was snapping to, I usually, when I'm moving stuff around, I'm at 0.25 or 0.125. And 125 is just half of 25, so, whoop, that's not good. That's less than ideal. Alright, let's try and troubleshoot this. Oh, it's right at the end of stream time, too. So the stream might run a little bit longer. I need to figure out where this is coming from. Okay. Something right in here. That might have been the fastest I've found. Oh, hold on. A face really got messed up there. Okay. Well, I'm still like the fastest I've found one of those. If that was the only thing. We'll double check. I should probably stop doing victory laps before I fly back over here. Okay. I guess that was. Sometimes those are really hard to find what's going on, but they're definitely something like if you get that flashing to happen, you definitely want to, if it's a really dark like screen like that, you want to find it sooner rather than later. I have a couple flickers that are tied up like in other areas that are like really tiny ones. So there's like, I think it just flashed there for a second. But those ones I can find later. It's the ones that go like jet black, where the screen, you just can't do anything that I try to find right away. Or ones that are just like, it just strobes the screen. Let's see. First Ranger on P9, or Robert says my first tune on P99 is Ranger. Kind of a rough class for the first one on P99. Yeah, Rangers, unfortunately, and I've played a little bit of a Ranger on P99, and I've definitely leveled up through TLPs. Rangers are like Gimp warriors with better aggro. For the first couple expansions. They're a rough class for sure. You can kite, but it takes forever to kill anything. But you are more soloable than a well, shoot, that was not what I wanted to do there. Than a warrior is. But yeah, it is a rough existence as a classic ranger. I mean, the class itself really doesn't come into its own until Lukeland, unfortunately. But I still play it pretty much every time I play the game. Nowadays, like, my ranger now is just, it's stupid or silly. I don't know what word you want, but like the amount of stuff he can do is just insane. He's got like a targeted, like a ground clicky target AE rain that hits like 8 mobs 4 times in a row. Or you can do like a cone based one. He's got another like single shot one. He's got another one that can stack with those 3, which are on the same timer, that fires 4 arrows and adds a arrow modifier for like the next 18 seconds or something, 18-20 seconds, something like that. But it's great, and I can use all those arrow spells while I'm meleeing. And then melee wise, I've got like a attack 4 times on a single target, or attack an AE attack. I can't remember. It's like 4 targets, 4 or 5 targets. Might be 8 targets as well. So I can just like AE like rampage essentially. But it is pretty crazy. Actually, I just learned my druid box. I memorized the spell and then I completely forgot I had it. But like a level or 2 ago, I got a spell that is a group. Whoops. It's a group-based proc that. Oh my god. Did I do it? Yes, I did. Damn it. That I think it puts like 40 stacks of a proc on whoever, like anybody in the group who has it, for a minute, and when it fires off, it does a 5k heal, and it procs like whenever I use those arrow spells, it can fire off for every arrow. So it procs a 5k heal, and then what else does it do? Oh, it also like procs a cure. So like if you have a dot on you, it'll cure ranks of the dot. Which is also pretty crazy. Flame Lick for the win, definitely. It's like the bread and butter of Ranger aggro. I did a dwarf tank, whatever class that was in Lotro. Lotro, Guardian. Guardian was the tank, like the you are a tank. That was your role in life class. We'll give this one a larger window, at least for now. I seriously got wrist pains for playing my Channer in Howling Stones. Constant panic. Ready for charms to break. I'm actually like debating going into Howling Stone, like the more modern version. I guess it's like 6 years old now, but the more modern version of Howling Stones on my my little group on live. I've been headshot camping in Durga, but it's getting really, really easy because they're at this point most of them are light blue so it's probably time to move on. I've been playing my first Bard on P99 recently. Definitely feeling the pain. Yeah, I've messed around with a Bard once or twice. I was not great at it. I had a really like the guild I was in back in the day, which I'm back in now, but there's not as many people in it as there used to be. But we had a really, really talented Bard core. Our bards were impressive. Like some of the stuff I saw them do was just mind-blowing. The swarm charm kiting was crazy to witness. I had I had volume on low. Did you just say, or did you hold it? Did you say you had a couple of hookers? I have no idea what where that came from, but no, that was what I said. Flamelick. Did you go to school for architecture in order to learn how to build or how to build buildings and structures, or is that experience from other games? I went to school for essentially interactive multimedia, but I focused in game design. I was in school before there were game design majors everywhere. I think when I was in school there was like one or two places that actually had degrees that were like an actual degree in game design. Some places had like focuses and stuff like that, but they weren't actual like degrees. In terms of learning architecture, a lot of it I just do a lot of research into the architecture that I'm working on, and then I kind of go from there. And then specifically for the style we're going with and trying to keep it very classic, like EQ classic geo feeling, but again, you know, doing a little bit extra in places like classic EQ rarely had trim, like actual extruded trims. It was usually just a texture. So, you know, here and there adding a little bit more so it'll play with the light, but still capturing that kind of chunky feel, and then just pushing it slightly beyond it to make it feel slightly more modern, but it's still in that space that your head goes, oh, nostalgia. So a lot of just kind of looking at old EQ zones and stuff. And granted, I mean, I used to play, and I still play EQ all the time. Well, not all the time, but nowadays all the time. But so I'm fairly familiar with the aesthetic. But also, you know, trying to take that and kind of make it our own aesthetic at the same time. I'm curious how M&M will make Archer different than the Ranger. Yeah, I think that will be one of the challenges in turn. I think that'll be the most challenging part of our new classes. I mean, some games have had Inquisitors and stuff like that, but not necessarily the way we're doing it. I think that's the most challenging class to make it feel unique, and not in the process of watering down both the Ranger and itself. So I think that will be the one that will probably, I mean, granted, I'm not Nick, so maybe for him it will be easier. But I think if I was the one designing for it, I think that'd be the one I'd have the most trouble with. But part of that would be my bias towards Rangers. I'm being like, well, I want the Ranger to have that. And then, like, you know, bias towards giving the Ranger things that I should probably give the Archer, and vice versa. Let's leave that back over there for now. All right. So I've almost finished everything I wanted to do today on stream. I still need to get windows in here and here. I'll probably do that before next stream. Probably finish that up tonight. And then tomorrow, again, since Sean's out of town, I'll be streaming tomorrow, and that was why I didn't stream on Monday. So I'll probably start streaming around 9, between 9 and 10. I'll say 9, Eastern Standard Time in the morning. And maybe I'll run it like a 3-hour stream as opposed to my 2-hour streams. But with that said, I've kind of reached the end of today's stream. I need to run to the store. I feel like you guys are going more strength in terms of texturing versus modeling, which reminds me of EQ. It also sounds better resource-wise. Yeah, we'll be eventually getting a whole, like, you know, texture set. Right now, we have a lot of brown, and, you know, I've thrown some stone colors and stuff around, but eventually we'll do a whole pass, and then you know, be able to use vector or vertex color and stuff like that to tint things, and go from there. But yeah, eventually, you know, there'll be more color. It'll probably progress as you move up. This area is gonna have a lot of blue and greens. This will have multiple colors. There's gonna be a ton of, like, that kind of really deep blue up here, and then a lot of greenery and water. There's gonna be a lot of water in this area as well. And then a lot of blues and whites, I think, in the upper area. Lighting wise here, it's going to be more of a probably not as bright and saturated as is now, but kind of a pinkish purple crystal based lighting up here, and then down here it's going to be more lantern based, so orange fire lighting. But let's see. Have a good day. Thank you. Sounds good. Take care. All right, guys. With that said, and everybody's saying goodbye, I am going to wrap up the stream. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, we are making an MMO, indie MMO that is very classic inspired, titled Monsters and Memories. That is our website that I just linked. If you have any questions after looking through there, feel free to hop into our Discord. All the developers are in there. And yeah, feel free to ask us questions, or just, talk. We can talk about the game with other members of the community, as well. If you'd like to stay up to date with the development, that is our mailing list. These are the other members of the team that currently stream. So if you haven't already checked out their channel, check them out, throw them a follow. You can also get caught up on all of our past VODs, and I have a couple of them that I have yet to upload. I've been bad about that the last week, so I will try to get those up. But if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, all that fun stuff. It helps us out with the algorithm. The more engagement we get with those, the more likely the algorithm is to push M&M content to people that are interested in classic MMOs, things like that, indie game development. So the more you engage, the more it helps the game out and helps us get the word out. So always appreciate it. We always try to answer all the comments and stuff like that as well. So if you are on YouTube and you'd like to participate in my live chats, there should be a link in the description below to my Twitch channel, Paytas Ranger. Just click on the link, follow the channel, and then you'll get a notification whenever I go live. You can also opt into streaming notifications on our Discord channel. So when any member of the team goes live, you'll get a notification in Discord. Beyond that, my normal streaming times are 8 p.m. on Mondays and 1 p.m. on Wednesdays. And next week I'll be back to that. But I will be streaming tomorrow, which is Thursday at 9 a.m. I'll say 9, it might be 10, but 9 a.m. Is the goal. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Other than that, I think that is it for me. As always, thank you to my subscribers. You guys rock. Your generosity is always appreciated. So thank you very much. I will catch you guys next time. Later. And I almost hit chat instead of end stream. So this time I'm going to click the right button. Later, guys.